See, they have some save schematics here, and some of them are mine. I think. Which ones do I want to make? I'm gonna do a grassy field. Now this may. Oh no, for the ones that are loaded up already in there, they're good to use. Just click them and go. I don't think. Oh, never mind. Some of them make it not responding. It'll go back once it's done. Hold on. And there we go. It's a pretty good grassy field if I do say so myself. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. Now, if this is all you wanted to do, you're done. But for most people, it's not. So what you're gonna do in here, you're gonna add a character. You automatically get a Steve. See him? See right there? See? Right there. Oh god. He's right there. And you to move around in I think it actually shows it yet. As the camera says, left click to circle around, so that's like rotating it or whatever. So you're rotating on that one axle. Mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Right click plus normal Minecraft moving, which is wasted. Wast? Moves you around, moves the camera around. And then right click plus space makes you go faster, makes you switch space with shift, and you go slower. And that's pretty much all I usually use for moving around, moving the camera around, because you really don't gotta move the camera around too much. Now what I want to do is I want to move this guy. You have the little bar. Well, maybe you can't see it. This is your GUI for the guy, I guess. It shows you you can pick whatever option you want here: his head, his hat, his left arm, his right leg, left leg, body, and all of this good stuff. And then you can click all. I don't know if you can click all. Oh yeah, if you hold left click and just go across them, it clicks all of them. Now what I want to do is I want to move him up so he's not in the ground anymore. There you go. He's now in a grassy field. Now if this is all you want to do, this is gonna be a terrible animation. But if you want to add, I don't know, some other monsters in here, you can. It's just simple as clicking the model and click this, and you get all of these good ones. We got Pyroland Baby. We got a mushroom. We got a zombie pigman. We got a human. We got a zombie. We got skeleton, and we got a creeper. And we got a spider, enderman, slime, ghast, all the good stuff. Oh, an iron golem. It's going to be fighting an iron golem, I've decided. Now, to make sure that they don't, in the first frame, they're not on top of each other and stuff like that, just click the first frame you can see. It should make like a half diamond, and move them. To rotate them, you click the position down and click rotation, and you can rotate them as much as you want. The showdown that has been long awaited. See, now it changed from a human from this to this. So it shows, oh, you can click his nose. Dude, I didn't know you could click his nose. Whoa! I couldn't help him, sorry. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that. I'm gonna change the skin of this character. You gotta go on this, and you gotta click character. Now you see him again. He's just standing there like a loser. You gotta click browse. You got a bunch of skins here. I got my saved one, and Herobrine, Notch, Sheep, Villager Priest, Villager Librarian, all those good stuff. I'm gonna pick my skin because my skin I think is awesome because it's Ichigo, and you don't want your guy just standing there doing nothing, do you? That's gonna look terrible, man. It's gonna be like, oh, whatever. So I'm gonna add in, oh no, wrong one. Add in an item. By doing this, we can add in a helmet, all that. But if you go to browse and where did I save it? I think I saved it here. Yeah, you add in this. It adds in a gun one. I'm gonna try and give a link to this. If I don't, I'm sorry. I'll try and find the original one where I found it. But you have a bunch of guns here that you could use. We got this one. We got this one. We got this one. I'm gonna give him this one just because it looks awesome. Now where is it? And there it is. There's the gun that he's gonna have to use. I'm gonna rotate it so it's pointing towards the iron golem. Hopefully. Sorry, I might be getting a little sick here. But there we go. That's as good enough as I'm gonna get it. No, you're not gonna want to have to move the gun plus the character every single frame. But what you can do is, if you scroll down here, you should be able to add instances. You should see this. And then, I don't think you can close those, sadly. You can click this, and you can click lock to parent, and then lock to character 1. You can lock to his left arm. So now, if you move his left arm, if you move my character's left arm, it's going to move the gun. That's not his left arm, sir. Left arm. Should be moving the gun with it. If you could see the gun. See? Right there, see it? Now all you gotta do is move the gun back to where you thought where his arm is. That is not the correct way to go. And there you go. You got him holding a gun that is slightly tilted. Move it like this, and now it's in his hand. See it? He's now quote unquote pulling a gun on the iron golem. Now, if you wanna, I'll show you the camera stuff later. Now that I think about it. See, now he's holding the gun. It's gonna shoot him in the face, but he's iron, so it's not gonna do anything. But if you try, sadly, with this, there's a glitch or a bug or whatever. I don't know if I'm using the right version or anything. But if you try and essentially unlock it to the parent, it's gonna fly away. So just leave it locked to parent. That's what I do. I'm gonna give him an iron sword. Boom. Iron sword. Evan, yeah. I'm taking one worksheet. Sorry about that. Might try and edit that out. Trying to get this so it's straight. Ish. There we go. And what? What? Alright, sorry about that. And yeah, so we're gonna go back to the instances. We're gonna lock the parent, and the parent is going to be character 1 is going to be his right arm because his left arm's already very much occupied. And then we're gonna do item 2, which should be this. Yeah. Almost got it. Hold on. There we go. Fits perfectly, except for it's slightly tilted. So now he's pulling a gun and he's got an iron sword just sitting there waiting. Now at this point, this is still frame 1. So if you press play, you can't. Because there's only one frame on it at this point. What you gotta do is, from this point, you gotta continuously move them so and so and so and so and so and so. I'll show you a couple frames, but then I'm gonna speed it up a little bit and not talk as much and have music playing in the background because I'm not gonna talk through every single frame because I'm still working on my 300 frame one. Yeah. So hold on, I gotta take a sip. So for this one, you don't have to move. You don't have to go every single frame. I usually go double frame just so it's not like super slow animation and everything. But 1 minute. I usually go every other frame. And for this, when you're rotating them, you can usually turn the position off because you're not going to change when you're just moving frame to frame, unless you're making them move on the world scale. Oh, poop. Unless you're making them move on the world scale, you shouldn't have to move them, like, unless you're making him run or him run forward. You can also, for most things, you can bend them. So you see how his arm bends. This changes the degree of the bend. Owie. No, it hurt. But besides bending, you can change the scale of it. So if you want him to have a really big arm, he works out a lot, and it also changes the thing it's loaded with. So I'm gonna get it back to 1. Good enough. There you go. Now you can also turn some of these off, like overlay. Again, this alpha changes the color variation on it, I guess. I'm going to turn all this off because we're not really going to need it. This just turns it into like ghost transparency. Although I can see how that'd be kind of cool. Like he's turning into a ghost or he's evaporating. So if you really wanted to do that, I haven't worked with it all. I'll try and do some of it during this, but if not, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to turn that off for right now, though. No, his left arm is bent to hold the gun. And this is, so far the animation is just him doing, oh, I have it on loop. I'm going to turn down the animation speed so you can actually see it. Ready? Whoa. It's all the animation is at this point, and it's not too good as animation goes because it's only him bending his arm. So what we got to do is we got to get some action scenes in here. We got to get them fighting and killing and stuff like that. So I want to move the on goal. So we do the exact same thing. We move it out. Now in between these, he's gonna be moving. So like my character or the human will still be moving while we're editing the iron golem. So if we're editing here, his arm's gonna be halfway. But if we're editing in here, it's fully done. So so what do we want him to do? I'm gonna give it a scale, alpha, and overlay. Oh, what's transition? I have not. I'm gonna leave that be because I haven't touched it, and if I touch it, I'm gonna break it. You can move his arms and bend them too. So I guess you gotta do these for everything, which is gonna be a pain in the butt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make him running towards him. Yeah, you gotta do it for all of them. I'm just gonna click these like this and close them out. He's gonna be walking forwards. My guy's just pointing a gun at him like, don't move. And he's like, yo, I will break you. This would kind of look like an in-between one, and then you would continuously move his arms in whatever direction you decided they were going to start moving. So for his left leg, which is slightly bent, it'll be moving forward, while his right leg will be moving backwards a tad bit. And I'm just gonna, and this is the part where position comes back into play because you have to move him slightly forward. So far the animation is just him running. The golem starting to run. So now it's 1 frame per second. It's gonna be really slow. I even forgot it was playing because so it allows you to see any bugs or errors that it does. That's why I usually put it up to that. But 20 is usually what you want to do because it's fast paced and stuff like that. So what do we want to do now? We're gonna want to move him. We don't have to move him. We don't have to move as much of him each time. Now we can just move his left leg and his right leg, and reverse his arms mostly, and that will give the illusion that he's running. Because now it's gonna change everything to make it look like he's running. And I constantly go back and check just because that's what I do. And I constantly move this back down to like 1 to make sure that because this thing does still have bugs, as I showed you with the lock parent and unlocking the parent. So now he's starting to like move a little bit. He's starting to run, and he's starting to run the other way. So you want to try and keep it mostly the same tempo. Now I'm going to move him forward again and make his left leg go up here with his right leg like he's trying to stop himself. See, sadly, even if we lock it to parent, I think it still moves like that. So you got to be careful with that. Move it up here. And move his left arm like it's about to swing at my guy. And then swing up. So now it is very simple animation of just him, the iron golem running while I'm bending my arm to hold the gun. He's just starting to run a little bit. This is at 1 frame per second though, so as he's starting to move, he's starting to stop himself, and he's gonna swing up through my guy, hit him, and my guy's gonna do a backflip in the air. Now for that requires a tad bit more work than just moving. You gotta bend his legs. This is all stuff you probably wouldn't see in the actual video, but if they do notice to spot it, I would add it. Move his arm back so he's ready to jump. Move his other arm back. See how the sword moves with him. And as he's about to do this, move. You can also move in the timeline, move him back or forwards just by grabbing whatever frame you pick. So if you don't want the frame up here, you can move it back over here. So just as he's about to hit me, which would be probably right about here, his head moves back a little bit. His whole body moves. This is where you got to put position back in, up, and this way. This is the part where you're probably going to have to go frame by frame, even though it's a fun adventure for those who animate and they know that frame by frame is not a fun adventure. I usually move each thing first and then move him last. Like I have to go back and do it, but you know, look how many things I gotta move just to make him flip. Like I gotta move his head to make sure he's trying to look around the entire time, and then move his body back, because you also gotta decide the distance he's gonna flip by. I don't think he's going to flip too far because I don't feel like animating him flipping too far. Now he's looking him straight in the eye as he's flipping. So he's not, his position in the world standing will not move this entire time he's flipping. Ready? Oh, wait. I'm gonna move this frame per second up. Move it up a little bit. Now it's 3 frames per second. And now he's flipping. And now he's looking him straight in the eye. Now, we can decide how far he's going to jump back. Or, like right now, he's just jumping up. And then he's going to stop moving. Now we got to change this so it's moving back a little bit. That's his leg, not all of him, I'm sorry. And you got to move him back and up a little bit if you can. Back and up. You got to remember, you got to keep doing it higher than you did before till you get to the what you want to be the apex of where he's flipping. So right about here. And then you can always go back and edit it. It's not like it's set in stone where he's moving. Let's see how that looks. Jump. Whoa. Pretty good, pretty good. It just looks a little choppy now because it's frame by frame, like it's literally back to back to back to back. So if I were to move this one out a little bit, I do not want this to be a frame. Move this one out, move this one out, move this one out, move this one out, move this one out. I'm going to move all of them out. One more. And then it's going to look a little bit better because now, instead of going chop to chop to chop to chop with little animation help by the animator, now it's going to be have a space or a couple of frames where it's going to look a little easier. It's going to go a little slower because there's more frames for it to fill. See how much better that looks now? It's just, he's just flipping normally. He's nice and slow though. And so now I'm going to speed the video up a little bit, and I'm just going to try and make this animation in less than, hopefully, 3 hours.
Alright, ready? Thank you so much for watching. There will be more of this. I'm just going to pause it on this part of the video to show you that this is the end of this episode.